Artificial intelligence will change everything, not just our jobs, but the invisible rules that shape society. This is not a scary time. Well, not any more than any other time. In fact, humanity has a huge opportunity, but there are a few things you need to know. And this video will help shape your perspective and prepare you to actively participate in the decisions we all need to make as we enter the coming AI age. Our social constructs are on the brink of a massive shift, and the more you understand them, the better prepared you'll be. So, what are social constructs and why are they so important in the coming age of AI? Hi, I'm Michael Allen Prestwood, and this is Rewriting Society: How AI Will Change Our Social Constructs. This video is based on my article titled AI and Social Constructs Defining the Future, available at touchstonetruth.com. And both are based on content from my book 30 Philosophers, which tells the story of human thought over the last 5,000 years. The story of human thought is largely about the story of social constructs, the very fabric of our existence. They're the invisible threads that weave the fabric of human society. They're shared beliefs and agreements, like money, gender roles, and even the concepts of time, clocks, and calendars. All these social constructs give structure to our world and help us navigate its complexities. But here's the thing, these constructs aren't part of nature. They're completely human-made frameworks, created to bring order and meaning to our world. This video will cover this in 4 parts. First, we'll dive into social constructs, focusing on the healthcare industry. It's a perfect example of what's going to happen across every industry and impact every person everywhere. After covering AI's influence on them, we will explore the human-AI relationship. We'll conclude with some of the ethical considerations and a call to action. Let's dive in. The rules of society are about to be rewritten by machines. To understand how AI will shape our future, we must first grasp the concept of social constructs, the very fabric of our society. Nearly all of them are going to change, starting in just a few years, and accelerating dramatically over the next few decades. Think about the world in 1910 and the people born into that time. Now imagine someone born that year living through 1980. The transformation brought by the industrial age was stark. The shocking changes as each decade rolled on were nothing short of revolutionary. Once quaint towns and villages were rapidly transformed into bustling cities as people left behind the tranquility of rural life for the gritty promise of factory work. The air filled with the clatter of machinery and the choking haze of coal smoke, as the hum of industry replaced the gentle rhythms of nature. The pace of life quickened, and the world seemed to shrink as steam engines and steel tracks connected people and places like never before. Traditional social structures crumbled under the weight of industrialization, while new constructs defined by wealth and power emerged. The industrialists amassed fortunes, and a new working class toiled long hours under dangerous conditions, often for meager wages. Inequalities widened, with the rich getting richer and the poor sinking deeper into poverty, setting the stage for unrest and upheaval. This tension culminated in the bloody conflicts of 2 world wars and the devastating economic collapse of the Great Depression. In the United States, it wasn't until after the Second World War, when the sacrifices of millions led to a shift in sentiment, that reforms like the GI Bill and progressive taxation were implemented, momentarily easing social tensions and fostering the growth of a powerful middle class that thrived for decades. This shift toward the middle turned in the mid-1980s, starting by removing the progressive taxations on the rich, campaigns against unions, and deregulating industries to favor corporate growth with reduced checks and balances. All increased the wealth gap. That's what AI will do to everyone alive today. But instead of changes spanning decades, They'll come every year or two. In just over 2 decades, the world will be more transformed than it was from 1910 to 1980. Here's the key. AI won't just change jobs, it will change the rules that govern society. Our social constructs. Things like copyright laws, political parties, and medicine. They may feel solid and unchanging, but they're not part of nature. They are completely human-made. And because they're human-made, they're not set in stone. They can be changed, redefined, or even replaced. These shared ideas, beliefs, and systems give structure and meaning to our lives, but are not bound by reality. They can be reshaped anytime we decide. Take money, for example. It's just paper or numbers on a screen, but it holds value because we've all decided it does. It's the same with gender roles, racial categories, and even basic concepts like etiquette. We created them and they change as our society evolves. If you're familiar with my writing, you might recognize this as the concept of normal. Every time we redefine a social construct, we change what's considered normal in society. Consider the idea of success. In many parts of the world, it's defined by wealth, career status, and material possessions. But these markers are simply symbols we've agreed upon, and they differ from culture to culture. Another example is the concept of justice. What is considered fair or unfair varies dramatically depending on where you are, who you are, and the time in history. These constructs are always evolving, shaped by our collective agreement. So how does AI fit into all of this? AI is set to disrupt many of these long-standing constructs, starting with one of the most fundamental, labor. And not just physical labor, but mental labor as well. Our traditional social structures, like having an upper, middle, and lower class, have been built around the idea of labor for thousands of years. Entire cities and civilizations have been structured this way, with laborers working in agriculture, construction, and industry. But with AI's ability to take over both mental and physical tasks, the need for many of these jobs will disappear. This will fundamentally change the current paradigm where people grow up, gain an education, and then enter the workforce. You start with nothing but your skills and support of family and friends. Instead of entering at a blue-collar or white-collar level and working their way up or down, we'll need to redefine what work means and rethink how people contribute to society. AI is going to disrupt accomplishment, achievement, and purpose. We need to redefine what it means to live a life well lived. AI, like every transformative technology before it, has the potential to either reinforce or disrupt the social constructs we live by. On one hand, it can perpetuate existing norms through biased algorithms and data sets that reflect the prejudices and assumptions of the past. If an AI model is trained on historical data, for example, it might continue to uphold constructs of inequality, such as gender or racial biases, simply because that's what it learned. But on the other hand, AI presents a unique opportunity to question and reimagine these constructs. By programming AI with diverse perspectives and ethical guidelines, we can use it as a tool to challenge outdated norms and promote more inclusive ideas. In other words, AI doesn't have to be a mirror that only reflects society's flaws. It can also be a hammer that helps us reshape them. Think back to some of history's major technological advancements: the printing press, the Industrial Revolution, and more recently, the Internet. Each of these breakthroughs not only transformed our way of life, but also shifted social constructs. The printing press democratized knowledge, challenging the idea of who could access education. The Industrial Revolution redefined labor and social class structures. And the Internet changed our notions of community and communication. AI is poised to be more transformative. Yes, more transformative. But here's the key. We have to be deliberate. If we're not careful, AI could simply reinforce the same social frameworks we're trying to evolve beyond. So we need to ask ourselves, are these constructs still relevant? Do they need to be updated or even replaced? The future of our social constructs isn't set in stone. It's up to us to decide how AI will engage with and reshape them. we have a unique opportunity with AI. An opportunity to intentionally define our relationship with this technology. Rather than allowing AI to simply perpetuate old biases and norms, we get to decide what roles AI should play in our lives. Will it be an assistant, a collaborator, a boss of some type, or something entirely new? Take healthcare as an example. By 2045, I believe every single person on Earth could have their own personal AI doctor. This includes not just billionaires, but every child in today's struggling countries. Imagine how that would change things. Today, not everyone has regular access to a doctor. An AI doctor could fix that. And it will be fully proactive. For the first time in human history, it will not be reactive. Instead of waiting for you to tell the doctor something is wrong. An AI doctor would monitor your health continuously, reviewing your data and asking questions based on real-time insights. These insights will be data-driven, so during your journey on Earth, instead of being encouraged to see your doctor, you will be encouraged to get as many health scans as possible. Some will opt into wearing continuous monitors. Some will take advantage of various free scans. Everyone will have the opportunity to live longer. Consider this. Right now, expertise and accuracy vary wildly. I experienced this firsthand with Lisa. We spent 4 years going through 4 wrong diagnoses before landing on the right one. This is her actual scan. It was diagnosed multiple times. Each time it was up to me to question it, from MS to PPMS to CADASIL. Our final diagnoses, a genetic disease. A diagnosis of CADASIL from a professional. The problem? The insurance company refused to confirm it with a DNA test, and my research said it was wrong. It's not CADASIL. Since it is a genetic disease, I tested her with 23andMe and Ancestry.com DNA. I downloaded the raw data and was able to identify 3 of the 4 genetic markers involved with CADASIL. With those 3, I was able to prove to the doctor he was wrong. After a 3rd wrong diagnosis, the insurance company authorized DNA testing. It was another year before we got a diagnosis. With an AI doctor, that expertise and accuracy would rise dramatically. In cases like this, because there are genetic markers, the diagnosis will occur years earlier. That's the power of AI in this one industry and the impact it will have on every single person. If we want, that power can be replicated to all industries and for everyone around the world that wants it. Imagine having a team of 1,000 top doctors and researchers working full-time on your health. That's the labor power AI could bring to the table within just a few decades for everyone that opts in. And what about rare diseases? Lisa passed away in 2020 from a rare disease called HDLS. At the time of her diagnosis in 2017, there were no treatments, none. With AI, every patient with HDLS would be known, even if they chose not to know themselves. All that data could be fed into research, accelerating the development of treatments for even the rarest conditions. And here's the thing, we get to make up these social constructs. We get to define the relationship we want with AI. And yes, some people and groups will opt to stay outside of this system, like the Sentinelese people who've remained genetically separate from humanity for at least 50,000 years. And that's okay. These hunter-gatherers are living lives well lived their way. Our construct of the doctor has evolved many times throughout history. Ancient healers once combined medicine with spiritual practices. The Greeks shifted medicine towards observation and reasoning. The Middle Ages saw the rise of university-trained physicians, while the 19th and 20th centuries brought the highly specialized doctors we see today. The concept of the doctor, like all social constructs, has always changed to reflect the needs and knowledge of its time. So, what will the doctors of the future look like? With AI handling most of the labor, human doctors might become advanced researchers and coordinators, working alongside AI to treat diseases and refine algorithms. They won't just treat symptoms, they'll integrate cutting-edge discoveries and guide next steps in a world where healthcare is proactive and personalized. And what about hospitals? Will they still exist? Maybe, but they don't have to look the same. After all, social constructs don't exist in nature, we make them up. We could decide to keep traditional healthcare structures, or we could adapt them to a future where AI helps hospitals treat more patients with far greater precision and care. Imagine a world where medical treatment is no longer a weeks or months-long process, but something that can be addressed in minutes or days. Right now, I sometimes avoid going to the hospital because I know it'll be a 5-hour ordeal. But with AI, many of those visits could be as quick as going through a drive-thru. This isn't just about redefining healthcare, it's about redefining every industry. With AI as our partner, we have the chance to fundamentally transform not only how we think about human needs, but how we deliver services to every person on Earth. Ethics must be at the forefront of every decision we make about AI. Without a clear ethical framework, we risk creating technologies that conflict with our values. Questions like, should AI have rights? Should it be held accountable for decisions? Should it have free speech? All force us to consider not only the implications of AI, but also the broader constructs of human rights, value, and dignity. Let's take the idea of free speech as one example. Humans have fought long and hard to secure their right to free speech, but giving this same freedom to AI would be a dangerous proposition. Why? Because human opinions are shaped by experience, culture, and personal growth, and AI's opinions are driven by algorithms and data, devoid of emotion or moral reasoning. Allowing AI the unrestricted freedom to speak would give it a power it doesn't need, and one that could be used irresponsibly, especially by those with agendas. If AI were allowed to lie or deceive, it could flood public discourse with misinformation, amplify harmful biases, and distort reality, making it almost impossible to separate truth from fabrication. Humans, for all their flaws, need the right to believe and express their ideas, even irrational ones, because those beliefs are tied to their personal experiences and sense of agency. Free speech protects our right to explore, debate, and yes, sometimes be wrong. Humans need the right to lie to themselves and others, because it's part of our emotional and intellectual growth. But AI has no personal experiences, no emotional growth, and no stake in the conversation. Therefore, giving AI the right to free speech, including the right to lie, serves no purpose other than to sow confusion and potentially manipulate society. As Yuval Noah Harari suggests in his writing, free speech is intrinsically linked to human agency and should remain a uniquely human right. While I sometimes find his message a bit too negative, he's right about this. AI should not have free speech, because it doesn't have human experiences to back it up. Consider the role of a newspaper editor. Editors don't just write down words, they verify, contextualize, and choose which stories to publish, always with an eye on the truth and the public good. If we allowed AI to express itself freely without oversight, it would be like running a newspaper where every article, truthful or not, was published without review. The risk wouldn't just be misinformation, it would be the erosion of trust and the destabilization of our shared reality. AI should be treated as a tool, one that enhances human discourse under human guidance, not as an independent agent with its own voice. Therefore, AI should not have the right to lie for the purpose of deceit. Its role should be like that of an assistant editor, providing suggestions and content, but always subject to human review and ethical standards. This isn't about stripping AI of a right it never needed. It's about ensuring AI serves its intended purpose, enhancing human knowledge, supporting informed decision-making, and promoting healthier public discourse without undermining our societal values. Humanity is at a critical juncture. Right now, we can choose to let AI evolve within the confines of outdated social constructs, or we can use this moment to redefine those constructs for a new era. The path forward can embrace our best ideas about democracy, checks and balances, and equity, or it can be used by the rich and powerful to stir humanity down a darker path. This is more than just about ensuring ethical AI development. It's about rethinking our core constructs of success, power, and equity. So what does that mean for us? It means involving diverse voices in the conversation. It means anticipating long-term consequences. And it means creating policies that encourage responsible innovation. We can't afford to just react to changes as they happen. We need to stay ahead, shaping the direction AI takes and the impact it will have. This is our chance to proactively build a future where AI is an ally, one that helps us solve problems, fosters inclusivity, and creates more equitable opportunities. But we have to be deliberate in defining those social constructs, ensuring AI operates within boundaries that benefit everyone. I'm Michael Allen Prestwood, reminding you that AI is only as powerful as the social constructs we allow it to operate within. It's up to us to define those constructs thoughtfully, making AI a force for good in building a brighter, more equitable future for everyone. The big question remains, will we let billionaires create a world divided into superclasses of the very rich and the very poor? Or will we, as a society, speak up and decide our future together? To navigate this future, it's crucial to understand the full story of human thought, social constructs, and your place in it. My new book, 30 Philosophers, dives deeper into these ideas, exploring the evolution of our best thoughts over the last 5,000 years. It's the story of how we've shaped society and how we can shape it again. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. If you are new here, please subscribe and join our community of thinkers at touchstonetruth.com.